A beverage company was interested to launch a new beverage. Now, it had decided upon three flavors, out of which it could launch only one particular flavor. But they did not know that out of these three flavors, orange, lime, and cola, which particular flavor to launch, because they did not know which flavor people would prefer. So, what did they do? They hired an employee who was tasked with going around and asking people what flavor they would prefer. So this is the information that the employee obtained. This information that the employee obtained for a specific purpose is known as raw data. Now the employee has to present this data to his boss. But can he present it in this particular format? The employee cannot give this raw data to his boss because his boss is a busy man. And one look at this raw data is not going to convey any particular information. So what does the employee do? The employee proceeds to counting how many people have opted for orange, lime, and cola respectively. So let us help him do so. Firstly, we calculate how many people have opted for orange. So we see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. So we find that 23 people have opted for orange. So the employee writes orange 23, which indicates that 23 people out of the people he surveyed opted for orange. Now let us find out how many people have opted for lime. We find it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we find that 11 people have opted for lime. So the employee writes lime 11. Now we have to find how many people have opted for cola. So again, we count the number of people who have opted for cola. We find it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we find that 10 people have opted for cola. So the employee writes cola 10. And this is what the employee gets. Orange opted by 23 people, lime opted by 11 people, and cola opted by 10 people. So after getting this data, the employee proceeds to represent this data in a tabular format. So he constructs a table, writes the preferences of the three beverages that the company wants to launch: orange, lime, and cola. And adjacent to those, he writes down the number of people who have opted for each of the three flavors. And this he presents to his boss. Now the boss, by one look at this data, will be easily able to say that the number of people wanting orange is much more than the number of people wanting lime or cola. So in this manner, with the help of this representation of data, the boss will be able to decide which beverage the company should launch in order to satisfy its customers. So this is what is known as statistics. Statistics is nothing but the collection and representation of data. Now this collection and representation of data can be done in two ways. These two ways of collection of data are known as primary collection of data and secondary collection of data. So what is primary collection of data? Data that was collected by the person herself or himself is known as primary collection of data. In the example which we have considered, the employee going around asking people what flavor of beverage they want, that indicates primary collection of data. Why? Because the data that was collected did not exist previously. It was collected by the employee himself. Next, we come to secondary collection of data. Secondary collection of data is data that was collected from a source which already had the information. So let us say that you have a project which your school teacher has given you, And in order to do this project, you refer to certain materials on the internet or from certain books. So that data which you collect from the internet or books already existed previously. So you're simply collecting information that was previously there. This is secondary collection of data. So statistics can be applied in many spheres of life, and it helps us in many ways. One of the examples of application of statistics is marketing, as we saw in our example. In marketing, what usually happens is companies conduct extensive surveys of its customer base because they want to find out what particular product their customers prefer. After the survey has been conducted, they find out what particular product their customers are opting for. And in that manner, by launching that particular product, they will be able to satisfy their customers as well as increase their profits. And this is one of the prime examples of the application of statistics. So where else do you think that statistics is applied? Statistics also finds extensive application in medical studies and predicting diseases. Now you must have heard that smoking causes lung cancer. And I'm sure it is a very common warning given everywhere. Now, how is this conclusion reached that smoking causes lung cancer? What the doctors do, they take a consideration of, let's say, 100 or 1,000 patients. Now, when they consider these patients who already have cancer, their medical histories are checked along with their background. Now, in majority of the cases, it is found that these patients who have cancer are also heavy smokers. So since majority of the cancer patients are also smokers, a conclusion is reached that smoking causes cancer, more particularly lung cancer. And it is in this way that statistics helps us and the doctors in studying the nature of diseases. Now, statistics helps us in studying not only what has happened, but also in what is about to happen. Or in other words, statistics helps us in forecasting. One of the prime examples of forecasting is weather forecasting. You must have often seen in news channels as well as newspapers that the weather person or the weather report predicts what the weather is going to be for the next few days. This is done with the help of statistics. A vast collection of data exists of previous days or previous months or even years. And looking at that data, the weather people are able to say what the weather is going to be like over the next few days or even the next few months. So this is one of the examples where statistics uses forecasting in order to help us. Another place where statistics helps us is in stock market. Statistics uses forecasting in stock market by telling people who deal in shares and bonds what the prices of these shares and bonds are going to be in a period of time in the future. So knowing this information, these traders will be able to make their decisions accordingly so that they do not incur losses and they are able to make profits. So in this manner, we find that statistics is helping us not only in studying what has already happened, but also in studying what is about to happen. And thus, an understanding of statistics is absolutely necessary.